Good morning. Say morning, it's midnight on Saturday, and wife's just gone to bed, so I've popped down to the shed to do a bit more modelling. The last 2 or 3 days I've been working on some armour. So my German armour that I've nearly completed, I've continued working on, and these ones were all done apart from the tracks and the wheels. So I've completed those. I've then painted the tools and the chains and bits and pieces on the body, and I've added a little bit of chipping as well. Well, I have to say, and I've put some damage in, a few sort of bullet holes that I need to paint up, so there's a little bit of chipping, and I'll probably put some streaks, oil streaks and rust on them as well. So that's my Tiger, my Panzer IV with the wheels done, and a little bit of chipping, and all the tools painted up. I found that with the camouflage, the chipping isn't showing as much as it would do on a plain paint scheme, but it is there. But I'll see what happens when I add some rain streaks and some rust, sort the aerial out. So I did those on Thursday, Friday, and I undercoated my Blitzkrieg models, so the Matilda, just giving it a coat of undercoat. I did wash them in soapy water because the first set of Blitzkrieg resin tanks I bought, I didn't know about that, and the paint started to flake off. However, I did wash them this time, and the paint still flaked off, so I probably didn't do a good enough job. So I had to scrub them all down again, get rid of all the flaky paint, and respray them yesterday. So that's my Matilda and my Valentine, which has been resprayed, and my Humber Scout car. So I'm not sure when I'm going to start actually painting these, because I've got so many to do. And then yesterday, or last night, I started building the 3 tanks that I bought at Salute last year. So I've had them for about 9 months or something like that. So this Stuart I've done up as a British honey. That's a Warlord Games model. This one, the Panzer III, is Warlord, and this Panzer III is Rubicon. And I have to say, the Rubicon, I managed it in half an hour, whereas the Warlord, it probably took me about 2 hours, mainly because there are far less parts. The tracks are all in one, so it's far easier to build, and it goes together quite well as well. Whereas the Warlord, it's there are so many pieces. I mean, the tracks are a bit of a nightmare, getting them all to match up. You can see I couldn't quite manage it there. And again at the back, that one's all wonky. I couldn't get them to stay on the wheels because the teeth inside the tracks, there isn't enough space. So it's gone on a bit wonky. I'm trying to manage 4-piece tracks instead of 1-piece tracks. It's much more difficult. So you can see there that I had some problems matching them all up. So and of course the worst one was the Stuart. It's a small kit, and for instance the turret is in so many different parts. Trying to get them all to match up. There's the turret sort of sides. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 bits. They've all got to stand up and then get glued to each other. I found that quite difficult. And then the little cupola thing on the top. That's 3 bits. And I had similar problems. But anyway, and the putting the hull onto the bottom wasn't quite as straightforward as I'd have liked. And actually the tracks on this are even worse because they're 6-part tracks. So you get the bottom, the top, and then you get two at the sides, at the front and the back. Although I found that just sticking the bottom and the first rounded bit and waiting until those had dried was helpful, and then putting the next bits on top afterwards, rather than trying to put them all together at the same time. So that's what I've been doing this week. I'll have Sunday tomorrow, so I'll probably hopefully try and finish off these guys here that are almost complete, and then I might start painting 1 or 2 other tanks and see how we get on. The skirts that come with the Panzer IIIs are slightly different. So that's the Rubicon one, and that's the Warlord one. Now the Warlord one is much more delicate. But of course it's much more difficult to fit as well. So whereas the Rubicon one will just rest on top, you know, I don't even actually need to fit that. That'll just sit on there quite happily, whether I magnetise it or not, I don't know, but that'll sit on there. Getting these two to match up without actually sticking the skirts on, because I don't want them permanently on. I quite fancy using them as and when required rather than being fixed on permanently. Of course I've drilled out the holes, and I don't know whether I'll use them, so I might fill them in again. So that's the turret skirts, and then the side skirts, again the more delicate structure. Which way around are we? This way around. So they'll go on like that, but there's no sort of way to hold them in place if you want to remove them between games, or use them sometimes with and without. So whether I can devise some kind of magnetic hold on that, I'm not sure. But the Rubicon, they're fixed like that, and they just slide on. So you can, you know, they'll just, because of the lugs, we've got the triangle ones at the top and then those semicircles underneath, and that just slides in, and you're good to go. Much better design for wargaming. It leaves you with a choice of putting them on and taking them off, and not having to worry about magnets. So I think Rubicon is probably the way to go if I want any more of my Panzer IIIs and 4s. Thank you. Thanks for watching.